6 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m., it's Monday, August 12, 2019, 52 degrees outside. Shane Matobin on the line, as usual. Half man, half amazing, is here, live. And well, he's not live. He's live in wherever the heck he is. He's in witness protection up there in Vancouver.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, he's in trouble up there, so... Oh, man. Another week, Shane. Another week.
Yeah.
But, hey, go ahead.
I was just going to say, everybody keep your eyes pointed to the sky tonight. The Perseid meteor shower is occurring tonight, so enjoy the falling star show.
Yeah, and we should have clear skies tonight, too, I believe, for a change.
Exactly. So
every 10 minutes yesterday, Shane, they were giving these thunderstorm warnings with damaging hail and your roof's going to go away, and I don't know, man. We got a little pea-sized hail for about, 3 minutes, I guess, 3 or 4 minutes. And then we were done. It was over.
Yeah, well, that's Mother Nature letting you know she can make it snow, too, if she wants to.
Well, that's true. I think if you've been in Montana any length of time, you've seen snow in every month of the year. So
that's right. Exactly.
It's no big deal. So. Oh, let's see. Let's do a couple things here. For our poll question of the day, what age should a child have a cell phone? I know your kids were too young to have cell phones, so they didn't have them then, Shane, but you barely had Watson.
That's right. That's right. We were still using the telegraph.
So what do you think? What's the age appropriate for a cell phone for a kid?
Well, with proper parental control, I think 6 to 8. In the 21st century, you got to know where they are. They're safe.
Yeah.
It's an ID. It's a way to follow them and keep track of them for security reasons only. Yeah. But the important thing is you have to talk to your kids and you have to know what they're doing. You have to look at their phone, check it out, make sure they're not doing anything wrong.
Sure. Yeah.
But that's my feeling. Security is important in the 21st century. My gosh, but this whole thing about child slavery and everything, oh my gosh, you got to be really so.
Yeah. Well, another thing too is that there's a thing on your phone to turn it on, and they can find your phone as long as it's turned on somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's another issue, and I guess maybe I should have clarified the question more. Should it be a smartphone where you can text and look on the internet and all that stuff and whatever? So I don't know if a 6-year-old needs that or not. Although my wife pointed out if these kids don't get cell phones and laptops and tablets and things like that when they go to school, they're going to be behind.
That's right.
The kids that have learned how to use and how to find things and how to surf the net and find information they need for school or, whatever.
Oh, so, my 3-year-old granddaughter knows how to use her mother's phone already. It's amazing. She knows how to get the clickers for the television, turn the TV on, and hook up Netflix, for goodness sake. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
She's 3. Go figure.
Well, early results in our what age should a child have a cell phone? The leading is at 66% currently is 15 to 18, and 16% think it's 7 to 10, and we have someone 18 to 21 is another isn't a choice, but it's in there as other. So it's still early voting yet. We don't have much in there, but. Our poll question on Friday, though, we got a lot of response to that. Can any law be passed to stop mass shootings? And
no.
70%, almost 71% said no law will stop a committed person. And 15% said observant people, not laws, can stop mass shootings. And then 6%, I should say, said, yes, Congress needs to rethink gun laws. And then there were some others, just ban mass shootings. Duh. Well, we should. Why did we think of that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Start hanging these mass shooters in the middle of the square like we used to. And someone else wanted stronger background checks. Let's see. I think mandatory gun safety classes in school and proper use of firearms might be worth looking at. So we have.
Well, remember, I don't remember which mass shooting it was at which school, the one in Denver or the one in Connecticut, but the big solution for that was safe zones. Remember? We're gonna create no gun zones or whatever.
No gun zones. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that turned into a big, unintended consequence. Well, if there's no guns there, then everyone that wants to kill knows where to go.
I was going to say, if ducks were smart, they would just put up no duck zone at every pond between here and South America. They'd just be fine. No ducks here. Oh, look, George, we're going to have to go to another pond. No ducks here.
Yeah.
This is a no duck pond.
No, my goodness gracious.
I don't know. Well,
the problem of unintended consequences.
Ain't that the truth? Let's take a quick look at our weather. Today, it's going to be sunny with a high of 75. We just don't have 75-degree weather in August. I don't know what's going on with the cool temperatures. It's 80s, 90s in August. I mean, it should be.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know. I'll have to look. I'll have to look and see what our average temperature is today. I'll do that in a minute. But anyway, today sunny with a high of 75. Winds will start out of the southwest and then go to the northwest, 21 miles an hour. So anytime we get those southern winds meeting that northern cold, it gets the wind starts blowing. So tonight's going to be clear with a low around 47. That's pretty low for us too this time of year. 47. That's but it will be clear for the meteor shower if you want to go out and take a look. And winds are not going to be too much of a hassle. Some might be as high as 18, but that's not too bad to go out and watch a meteor shower at near freezing temperatures. So no problem. Well, Tuesday's going to be good. We're going to have a sunny. We're going to have a high of around 79 degrees there. Calm winds during the day, so should be pretty nice day on Tuesday. Tuesday night, mostly clear, 51, a little warmer, and winds out of the northwest will keep that temp down probably. And then on Wednesday, again, sunny with a high of 82, calm winds again, and Wednesday night, a 20% chance of rain before midnight, then mostly cloudy with a low around 53 overnight. Thursday, 20% chance of rain afternoon and mostly sunny with a high of 79. And then on Thursday night, there's a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly before midnight, mostly cloudy with a high around 51. And then moving into Friday, slight chance of rain, then a chance of showers and thunderstorms later on in the day, and the high will be 78. So that'll be your weekend forecast, or this forecast for, I guess, this week. Temperatures around the area right now, 52 in Livingston. It is 48 in Manhattan. It is 47 in Three Forks. It is 48 in Gallatin Gateway. Over at Ennis, 48 degrees there as well. Big Sky's 41. At the airport in Belgrade, it's 46 degrees right now. We're at 52, so big difference there, 8 miles away. So I don't know what's going on over in Belgrade there. But we're warm here. Must be all the pavement and everything that we have here. So, yeah, looking at our average high this year, or in this month, or for this date, I guess, is 89 degrees. And our average low is 50. So we're well below our average, because we should be 85, 89 or 90. The record's 101 for this date, and 38 is the low record for this date. So. But yeah, we should be in the mid to high 80s, and we're not going to get out of the 70s this week till till a week from Wednesday. Jeez. So, well, it's going to be 80 on Wednesday, and then we're not going to see 80 again until the following Wednesday. So,
well, I'll bet your corn's at 5 to 6 feet by now. High.
Well, believe it or not, I found a cornfield here in Bozeman. Really? And it might be thigh high.
Thigh high?
Yeah, that's as high as it is that I saw anyway. It sure looks like corn to me, since I've planted corn and detasseled corn. I think I know what it looks like. So.
Well, we were up in Merritt this weekend for an event, and driving back, our corn here was like 6 feet high.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. Ours, what I saw, is pretty low. Now I don't know. Maybe it's midget corn or something. I don't know.
Midget corn.
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but we're ready for it. Not sure what to think about that. All right, let's do a little bit of this day in history before we have to disappear to the Montana News and Agriculture. 1851, what a year that was, 1851. On this date, Isaac Singer was granted a patent for the what? Singer sewing machine. Yeah.
It changed a vast amount of industry in your country because of it. I mean, the clothing industry accelerated and created another 15 million jobs in your country, which is huge.
Yeah.
The fascinating thing is that he wasn't the only one that actually put in patents for it, but he's the one who got it first. And he died with a net worth of 13 million. And to put that in perspective, about 350 million today dollars. But he was 1/709th of the U.S. GDP, gross national product when he died. That because it was the age of the industrialists in the 1800s, as we know. But what a guy! Had several wives, mistresses, and 20 children.
Wow,
he was a busy boy.
Gave new meaning to the term "sowing your oats," huh?
Very good. The Eagle Man strikes again.
Well, in 1850, on this date, Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher Christy Mathewson was born in Factoryville, Pennsylvania. What a guy he was, man! One of the amazing pitchers of the early days of baseball, before they had guns and everything. I don't know. He and I can't remember the other guy. They said that you could hear the ball
That's right.
Go through the air. They threw it so hard.
Well,
it goes zip.
It's coming. It's coming, buddy. It's coming. The 100th anniversary of the NFL this year. So huge.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's see. In 1898, the Peace Protocol ended the Spanish-American War.
Amazing thing.
The Spanish-American War.
Yeah, it started, of course, because of the sinking in Manila Bay of the, your the American warship, the USS Maine.
Remember the Maine.
That's right. Yellow journalism at its best, if you remember. That's what got you into it. McKinley signed the joint congressional resolution demanding Spanish withdrawal. It was a short war, April 21st, 1898 to August 13th, 1898. And you ended up with Cuba, Puerto Rico, the Philippines, and Guam. You paid $20 million for them, by the way.
Wow.
Which would be equivalent today to $602 million. So what a deal.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys cleaned up in the 1800s.
Yeah. Well, not as good as Manhattan, but what can I tell you?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we gotta see if I can get Montana News and Agriculture up here for you. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. 24 minutes after the hour. It's Monday, August 12th, 2019, 52 degrees outside. Shane Tobin on the line with me, Tom Eagle-Off, your morning mayor, and this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And we're doing a little bit on this day in history. In 1898, Hawaii was formally annexed into the United States. 1898 became a U.S. territory.
Yeah, that's a great story, and I'll go through it real quickly. This is one of the things William McKinley got done before, of course, he was assassinated. So he advocated during the 1896 presidential election the annexation of Hawaii. He won, and so he did it. He sent his Secretary of State, John Sherman, to negotiate a treaty of annexation with the Republic of Hawaii at the time. The U.S. Senate never ratified the treaty. Isn't that interesting for Americans? No. So the U.S. Congress and Senate passed the Newlands Resolution. This is the only state in your country this occurred with. So a joint resolution was passed on the 4th of July, 1898, by the United States Congress to annex the independent Republic of Hawaii. And in 1900, Congress created the territory of Hawaii from that. It's interesting because, it was, as I said, its own republic, similar to Texas. and became a state, of course, as we know, in 1959. So interesting little piece of history. Not a big place. I mean, as size goes, I mean, it's bigger than some of your states in New England, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the real thing that's fascinating about Hawaii is the medium household is $78,000, 13th in your country, and it's only 1.4 million people, and it's the area of it is 10,931 square miles, which ranks it as 43rd in size. So there's 7 states smaller than Hawaii.
Okay. You go. Well, you almost have to have a $70,000 income because everything's trucked in. Well, it's not It's not trucked in, but it's either shipped or flown.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to go by kayak, in 12 years. So they're in trouble.
I don't know. Lord.
Yeah.
Well, in 1944, Joseph P. Kennedy Jr., the eldest son of Joseph and Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy, was killed when an explosive-laden Navy plane blew up over England during World War II.
Yeah, it was rumored that it was a secret mission, and unfortunately, as you said, it blew up. It was a land-based patrol bomber that he flew. And he had flown he was almost, I think he was only 3 flights away from, being able to return home, because after I think 50 flights, you
had a certain number.
Yeah, he was awarded the Navy Cross posthumously, and only a member of the family that didn't run for public office, but was Joseph P. Kennedy Sr.'s choice to be the one to run for president, but did not happen.
Didn't make it. Yeah. They had a bunch of kids.
11.
Yeah. Wow.
She was busy. 11 years. Wow.
11 kids. Wow. Well, in 1953, the Soviet Union conducted a secret test of its first hydrogen bomb. 1953, hydrogen bomb.
Yeah, and the importance of this was it was a fusion weapon, meaning the explosion causes the fusion of nuclear, nuclear uranium, as opposed to the ones the United States had done, which were fission, where they split the atom because of the explosion, which, it made it really hard to deal with, because you could make these thermonuclear weapons with depleted uranium. And that was the main fuel, U-235 and Pu-239. The U.S. followed up quickly and had it, and then they outlawed them because, well, they didn't outlaw them, but they restricted their use, let's say.
Yeah. 1960, on this date, the first balloon satellite, Echo 1, was launched by the United States from Cape Canaveral, Florida. And we'll have to talk more about that when we come back, Shane, because we're at the bottom of the hour. So,
all right, buddy.
Hold that thought.
One thought held.
All right. Hey, we just passed 1,300 downloads of our shows. We're excited about that. Thank you, everyone, for doing that with us. We obviously, I guess you enjoy the show if you take the time to download it, and 1,300 plus of you have. So we certainly appreciate that. And if you want to get in touch with us, 406-522-TALK is the number, 406-522-8255. And you can also use our chat line at 478-8298, or the easy way, use our app chat at AM 1450 KMMS. The app chat button's right next to the listen button, so get over there and send us a message. Let us know what you're thinking. We'll be back. 23 minutes before the top of the hour, Monday, August 12th, 2019, 53 degrees outside. Shane Taubman on the line, half man, half amazing, Vancouver, British Columbia. Tom Eagle, your morning mayor. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane that has over 1,300 downloads of our shows. We are excited about that, and we thank you very much for doing that. And I know Shane can't wait to talk about the Echo 1, the first balloon satellite. Wow.
Well, it's great because this is, science, and we like talking about science. So the Echo 1 satellite was built by Gilmore Schleldal. He was most famous for his plastic-lined air sickness bag that he invented and got a patent for. But his company built it, and the reason this is interesting is because it wasn't a conventional air balloon in the sense it was lifted from the surface of the Earth by gas.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually put into orbit by the Thor Delta rocket. And so it would go to around 1,000 miles above the Earth, open up, release this. It would inflate, and then it would operate as a reflector, not a transceiver, a reflector. So it was placed in low Earth orbit, so signals could be sent to it and reflected or bounced back to the surface and returned to Earth. So environmentalists should be out there demanding this type of satellite today because it's less environmentally evasive.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a great story because it's a great piece of science. I mean, the guy was really brilliant, and obviously, basically him and Von Braun were the guys that really got NASA going. Gilmore and Von Braun were great buddies.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to understand how this thing stayed up because, the higher you go, the colder it gets.
That's right. And they had to, that was,
so you got to have some superheated stuff to put in there, or at least constantly, and you got to have fuel for heat. So
yeah, it was a gas system using evaporating liquid or crystals of a subliming solid that were incorporated inside the satellite to keep, as you say, warm enough air in there so it would stay floating around the Earth. Wow. The good ship Earth.
And it had to be within atmosphere, obviously.
Yeah, it was only 1,000 feet in the air.
Yeah,
excuse me, 1,000 miles in the air. So it was still in the upper atmosphere of the planet. Yeah, low atmosphere. Yeah.
Well, we all remember in 1966 on this day, John Lennon apologized at a news conference in Chicago for saying the Beatles are more popular than Jesus. When he said that, boy, people started trashing their records, and stations wouldn't play them, and they hit the skids pretty good there because most of America back in the 60s was more religious than they are today, certainly. So
that's right.
Yeah,
it was a big excommunication.
It was. Yeah, it was
literally.
It was an excommunication for sure. That was a good one. That's pretty good for you. Yeah, that was quite a time there when they kind of overstepped their popularity or their self-centeredness, I guess. So. All right, we got to take another quick break here. We've got, we got ZipRecruiter, of course, and American Bullion. So these should be reversed. ZipRecruiter, you get a job and then you buy the American Bullion. But I don't know. We'll play it backwards for you just to get you going. We'll be right back right after this. 17 minutes for the top of the hour, Monday, August 12th, 2019. Shane Taubman, Tom Eaglehoff in the house. And 1977, Shane, the Space Shuttle Enterprise passed its first solo flight test by taking off aboard atop a Boeing 747, separating and then touching down in California's Mojave Desert.
Another great science story. I mean, This is so cool. You and I remember this. I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
The space shuttle system was designated for Enterprise OV-101, OV standing for orbital vehicle. And as I said, Tom said it was the first orbiter. Fascinating, though, that when they mounted it on the back of the 747, which remember seeing it on TV, you go, wow, that's so incredible.
Yeah.
They did it without any engines or a functional heat shield to reduce the weight on the airplane.
Yeah.
So when they tested it, it was just gliding from the atmosphere.
I was going to say it was kind of a glorified glider, wasn't
it? Yeah, exactly. But you remember how they had to, they actually had a sort of a challenge or whatever to name it. And of course, because everyone wanted to name it the Enterprise after Star Trek, and the rest is history. But very cool stuff. Remarkable technology. What a system to run into space and back. Yeah.
Well, you have to appreciate the power of a Boeing 747 to even pick this thing up. I mean, it's as big as the plane that's underneath it.
Exactly.
Even without a heat shield or engine or anything else. I mean, the fact that you could even get this thing off the ground. I think the pilot that said, wait a minute, you want me to do what?
What? Yeah.
I don't think so.
Since 2001, it's been at the Smithsonian's new Stephen F. Udvar Hayes Center in Virginia. So if you want to take a road trip with your kids, you can go see the Enterprise.
See how big that thing is, yeah.
Yeah, and see how big it really is.
Wow. Well, in 1981, IBM introduced its first personal computer, the Model 5150.
That's right. And, this was in response to Apple, because Apple was developing it. The one thing I wanted to mention about this is that the starting price, now this I think everyone's going to find interesting. The starting price was $1,565, which equivalent today would be $4,313, which means it hasn't really gone up in price other than inflation, right?
Yeah. I was going to say, not really all that much, yeah. Yeah, I think I got my first one in 85 or 86.
Yeah, I got mine in 86. It was but I bought an Apple.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
like the operating system a lot better. It was easier. I never liked the Microsoft operating system. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's as if Microsoft sat down and said, "How friggin' complicated can we make this computer?"
Yeah, and we have to, like the Apple operating system's been the same to this day, that you would get updated freely since they created it. Whereas, Microsoft's, what started at 1.1, and I think they're at 7.8. I mean, almost every other year. Oh, you have to get a new operating system for your computer because it's not working.
Yeah, it's another $40, $50 or 90 or 100 or something like that, and then bless you. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't that much fun. Let's see, from our text line, 478-8298, I still have a 5150 computer. Well, all right, good for you. So there we go. Well,
yeah, and your cell phone's more powerful than it is.
I was going to say, yeah, you better hook your cell phone up to it if you want to do anything. And I don't know, they even sell those big floppy disks anymore?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
And I think it's hard for you to buy even a laptop anymore that'll take a disc, right, for music.
Yeah. You got to buy the separate thing. Yeah. Well, you can download everything, so you don't really need the CDs or anything. I mean, that's what I did the other night. I'm looking through movies, and okay, I want that one. So it's about $7-8 or whatever to download it, and boom, you got it on your system. You can play it anytime you want.
That's right. Well, I want everyone to know the Rocket Man does these downloads on his computer because of all the long road trip he takes. So you can watch movies.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, you sit on an airplane. You got 40 people looking over your shoulder in the aisle and everything. Got subtitles on.
But you have to plug it in so you can't annoy anyone listening to it on headphones.
That's true. Yeah, I got the headphones and everything. So yeah. Let's see. In 1998, Swiss banks agreed to pay $1.25 billion in restitution to Holocaust survivors to settle claims for their assets, the assets that were taken from them.
That's right. The Gestapo and everyone in Germany were so confident of the Third Reich that they took all their money and put it in Swiss banks.
Yeah.
Which I guess is another reason why they didn't, of all countries, invade, because all their money was hidden there. But it's a very sad tenure to the reality of what happened to the European Jewish culture and people, and hardly a fair, what would you call it? What, reparation, right?
Yeah, reparation or compensation, one of the two. Yeah. $1.25 billion, even in 1998 dollars, is not a lot of money.
No.
When you're talking about Swiss governments and world governments, I should say. Well, in 2000, the Russian nuclear submarine Kursk and its 118-man crew were lost during naval exercises in the Barents Sea, and we tried to help with the rescue of that, but were unsuccessful.
And this is, I think, a pinnacle of the collapse of the Russian Empire, because it was an Oscar-class Soviet designation Project 949 Granite and Project 949A Ante cruise missile submarine, and was designed obviously as an Oscar II class to carry cruise missiles. 23, and 118 men died. They couldn't even find it. And, they had to have Western companies recover it, which was really sad too. And it was very disgraceful to the Russian Navy, which was rusting in harbor by that time.
Mm-hmm. They were. Yeah, they had a lot of egg on their face for that. That's for sure. So, all right, we got to take another quick break here. So we'll be back with more right after this. Stay tuned. 6 minutes before the top of the hour, and boy, it's been a fast first hour here, Shane. We've kind of rocked.
It's Monday.
It must be Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
Horrible way to spend 1/7 of your life, but here we are.
Oh, we love it. You know that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we just don't like tomorrow. We like today. We don't like tomorrow.
Tomorrow's not a great day.
Not a great day. 2000, the Russian nuclear submarine. We did that already. 2004. New Jersey Governor James McGreevey announced his resignation and pronounced himself a gay American.
Well, that was politically correct.
I guess. Well, 2004.
Yeah, exactly.
2004, also, the California Supreme Court voided the nearly 4,000 same-sex marriages sanctioned in San Francisco earlier in the year. So, that was quite a newsy thing, and I'm sure that wasn't lost on Governor James McGreevey.
No, but it resulted in the 2008 California Proposition 8 proposal.
The people wanted it, and the Supreme Court says, no, the people want, we don't care.
That's right. Proposition 8 eliminates rights of same-sex couples to marry. Mm-hmm. Initiated a constitutional amendment to the state of California. It won 7 million to 6. And then the state Supreme Court of California overturned it and says it was unconstitutional. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So even when you vote for something, you may not get it.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah. What's that song that Trump plays all the time? You may not always get what you want.
What you want. Yeah, that's right. Perfect example.
There you are. 2008, Russia halted its devastating 5-day assault on Georgia that left homes in smoldering ruins and uprooted 100,000 people.
And that's right. And it occurred during the opening ceremonies of the Olympics in China.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He decides to invade a country during the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. I mean, this is a truly strange guy.
Why not? Yeah, that'll suck all the oxygen out of the air. Nobody will care about this.
Yeah, exactly. So he thought.
Yeah. Well, Cecil B. DeMille, the motion picture producer and director, born on this date in 1881, died in 1959. There's not too many other people. Diamond Jim Brady, American financier and philanthropist, known as Diamond Jim, of course, born on this date. Let's see, who else do we have? Somebody that only Shane and I and probably 10 other people will remember, Cantinflas. He was a Mexican clown, acrobat, musician, satirist, singer, whatever, entertainer. Made it on Ed Sullivan every once in a while. 81 years old, born on this date in 1911. So
there you go, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Good day in history.
That is a big day in history. You know that?
Yes. Yeah. Indeed.
Well, we come back. We want to talk about MSU. We got a couple things going on over there, and also we've got the earthquake lake was created by an earthquake, of course, 60 years ago. Wonder why they called it Earthquake Lake. So I don't know.
It was Crater Lake.
Yeah. That would have been better. Montana Lake.
Montana Lake.
Yeah. Maybe there was already a Montana Lake in there, so I don't know. But anyway, we'll be talking about that when we come back. The other things, also we've got to talk about what's his name? I'll get it in a minute here. Maurice Hilleman. Maurice Hilleman. We'll talk about him when we come back because he is quite a person. And, well, he's not with us anymore, but he was quite a person at the time. And attended MSU and quite a guy. So we'll be talking about him when we come back. Also, coming up, we don't have any guests today, so open lines all morning long. Jeff Krause will join us tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So if you've got anything you want to ask Jeff about, but you aren't going to be able to listen to the show, you can certainly listen to it on our podcast. We record every show we do. And so if you got a question for Jeff, by all means, text us at 406-478-8298 or on our app chat right next to the listen button on your AM 1450 KMMS app. If you don't have the KMMS app, you got to download that thing. You got to get it. You got to get it. I mean, why would you not have it? I mean, come on. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. You get the news, you get the weather, you get everything. You get all local stories and everything on your right there on your phone. I mean, come on. And you can listen to us anytime you want. So.
Yeah, well, I was in, like I said, we were at this event this weekend up in Merritt, and 6 people, I got them to sign up.
Well, you're the best ever.
2 were from California, 2 were from Alberta, and 2 were from other parts of BC. So they're hopefully listening today.
Well, all right. That's a heck of a deal, man. You're on
it. always, baby.
Who says 2 amateurs can't grow a station?
That's right. Exactly. Network.
All right. Well, 1 amateur. I'm paid, so I'm a highly paid professional.
You're the professional.
That's right. All right. We got Montana news coming up at the top of the hour. We've got Brooke Foster's back with the weather, Fox News, and a lot more stuff coming up. We're going to be talking about MSU. We're going to be talking about the park permits and all kinds of stuff. Good morning, everyone. It is 4 minutes after 7 a.m. It is Monday, August 12th, 2019, 52 degrees outside. Looking for a high in the mid-70s today. Shane Taubman on the line with me from Vancouver, British Columbia. Half man, half amazing. Tom Eagle, your morning mayor in the house. And this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Happy to have you along with us for the morning. And from our text line, 478-8298, a cruise missile from the Kursk hit the Pentagon on 9/11. Shane, I had no idea. I didn't know that. So
I didn't either. That's a new one.
We didn't know that. Georgia invaded Odessa on 8/88. While Putin was watching judo at the Beijing Olympics. He left and defied Russia by routing the Georgians. So I guess that's it.
That's it.
All right. Let's see. Good morning, guys. Just think the people who trusted the government would keep Einstein alive are the same people who believe government should be arbiters for red flag laws and should oversee our health care. Let that sink in. Signed, David. So, all right, David, thanks for...
It's sinking. It's sinking. It's still sinking.
It's sinking in, yeah. It's barely sinking in, so I don't know. Pretty... Well, we're off to a good start here, so...
That's right.
Well, in local news, we're talking about Montana State getting off to a promising year this year, as we've seen Waded Creduso. I don't know what it is. Waded.
Aren't you the one who always telling me
Crusado? Crusado, yeah.
If you can't pronounce it, don't say it.
Yeah, if you can't pronounce it, don't say it. Yeah, you're right. Well, anyway, the president of MSU, whoever that is.
Yeah. Mr. President, we'll call it.
Right, yeah. Well, in this case, it's Ms. President, but it's it's 10 years she's been at the helm, or nearly 10 years, I guess, that she's been at the helm. And so, but the highlight of the coming year, they're going to host a national conference on undergraduate research. That's going to bring 4,000 students and professors from around the nations here in March of 2020. And they'll celebrate the impact on students when they do original research or creative work and areas in which MSU prides itself as a leader. And also, at the end of this month, the Bozeman campus will celebrate the 100th anniversary of the birth of Maurice Hilleman, a poor motherless kid. How are you a motherless kid? I'm pretty sure you got to have a mother, but anyway, I guess he didn't have a mother, but anyway, he's from eastern Montana, and got a scholarship somehow to then Montana State College that opened doors for him to become a scientist who developed. This guy cured everything. He developed more than 40 vaccines, Shane.
Incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. Measles, mumps, hepatitis A and B, meningitis, pneumonia, Morpheus influenza bacteria, and rubella. So,
wow,
quite a guy.
Amazing.
And most people have never heard of him. We've heard of Jonas Salk and people like that, and but not this guy. So
an orphan, isn't that incredible?
Yeah. Oh, let's see from our text line. Once again, slimy Steve Bullock left the state of Montana holding the bag. He not only embarrassed the state by his pseudo-eloquence, by his stumbling, bumbling response to what should be an obvious question, while seeking the left's nomination for president when the Montana Republican Party wanted an investigation concerning his misuse of state funds while running for president. The state commissioner of political practices rejected the request for an investigation. Typical Democrat getting away with anything they want. Democrats and Republicans should be outraged by slimy Steve Bullock.
Well, it's really outrageous. I took notice of this reading this weekend, and 35 the senators running for president, the Democratic senators running for president, have missed between 35 and 50 votes in the Senate because they've been on the road campaigning.
Yeah, they're out campaigning. How are they going to? Yeah. I don't know how they think they're going to do impeachment if they're all out there doing this.
Well, it's just that they're not even doing their job. They're getting paid for it. Wow.
Well, I know. Yeah. Well, if you run for president, you can't be sitting in Washington. Come on, Shane. Jeez. Can't be sitting there.
Well, but the funniest thing is they're at the Iowa State Fair, right? It's all beef and pork, and all the vegetarians aren't eating anything.
Yeah.
That's
it. That's the problem. That's what it is. Right. Oh man. Let's see. From our app chat, corn in Three Forks along the Jefferson River on the King Ranch, 5 to 6 feet tall. So there you are. Go, we got some. We got some corn up there in the Jefferson River, wherever it is, Jefferson River. Hey, thanks, Bruce, from using our KMMS AM 1450 app chat. AM 1450 KMMS app chat, by the way. Thank you very much, Steve, Bruce, for doing that. And let's see, other news we've got going on that we've got to talk about. There's a parking confusion, I guess, at MSU as well, Shane. They use a system called SB, E, and F parking permits. Nobody knows where to park. So they've decided that letters would be too complicated. So we're going to use bobcat, bison, and moose permits.
There you go. I love that. Yeah.
If you're in the moose lot, you'll know where to park. So we'll have animal icons out there. And, of course, if you're going to change from letters to animals, what's the most logical thing you do? Well, you raise the parking price. You increase the price of the parking.
Yeah, it's like buying a tag.
Yeah, so as an afterthought, parking can be frustrated, MSU spokesman said. Obviously, we want people to park at the university and not spend an undue amount of time looking. Well, if you've ever parked at the university, it is a pain to park there anywhere, even with a permit. But by putting limits, we can oversell by a certain percentage based on historic turnover to try to ensure there are available spots when people need them. So,
yeah, that works out well when you oversell permits.
Yeah, that makes and you charge more for them. That makes perfect sense. That's perfect sense. I completely understand. That is bureaucracy at its best when you do that. So yeah, That's excellent. Yeah, students who will live in the dorms and want to buy parking permits can do so online through the MSU Parking website. And if you're a student, I assume you know where that is. And parking stickers and hang tags are things of the past.
That's right.
Yeah. So
yeah, the political elite at the university don't understand supply and demand very well.
right, yeah. Well, we have that Earthquake Lake 60-year anniversary of that coming up, Shane. Pretty excited about that, I guess, that we've 60 years ago, or August 17th, I guess, marks the 60th anniversary of the formation of Earthquake Lake. So those of you who are around there 60 years ago and might remember that earthquake.
I do. I was in Billings, the Hebgen Lake.
Yeah, Hebgen Lake, yeah.
7.2 earthquake, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, big earthquake.
Oh, yeah, that would be it for sure. So let's see, from our text line, I guess numbering the parking lots would be too complicated. Yeah, like they do at Walmart. They got A and B and C and whatever. And yeah, you remember where you parked? Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, these people sit around and they have to think on a much higher plane than we do.
That's right. That's correct.
Yeah, because they're academics.
They're academics.
That's right.
They analyze it.
Yeah, and they thought, kids in kindergarten use animals, so let's do that. Because obviously these are the dumbest kids in the 48.
Yeah. Only problem is that out-of-state students don't know what these animals are.
Well, that's right. Yeah, that would be the problem there.
They've never seen one.
Yeah, we don't have ferrets or cobras or pot-bellied pigs.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, we don't have any of those things. So, yeah, that's going to be tough to do. So. But anyway, we've had a bunch of earthquakes lately, as you know, Shane, up in Manhattan and around that area. And this was the form or downstream from Hebgen Lake, and so they made a big hole and water flowed into it, and presto, you got Earthquake Lake. It's just that simple. Nothing to see here. Just keep on moving.
That's right.
All right.
Go to the hot pots.
Yeah. Well, let's really go to what everybody wants to talk about, taxes, of course. And City of Bozeman's gearing up to sell its nearly $37 million in bonds to build its new public safety center. Commissioners will vote Monday. We'll be talking about Jeff. We'll be talking to Jeff about that tomorrow because they're going to vote on this tonight. They'll vote Monday on whether it's time to sell the Bozeman Public Safety Center bonds, which voters approved in November of 2018. It's the last step in the city's longtime effort to build a new home for Bozeman police, courts, and victim services on 8 acres of city-owned land off Rouse Avenue and Oak Street. The center will also replace the deteriorating Bozeman Fire Station number 1, which sits between Hawthorne Elementary School and downtown, so they'll move that over there as well. And Assistant Manager Chuck Wynn said at a recent commission meeting, the estimated construction cost is about $30 million. Total price of the project is expected to reach roughly $40 million, so they're going to have to sell some bonds, and of course, you'll see a little bit in your, you'll see another latte, another pizza in your property taxes.
And my oxymoron story for the day is tax records show a loss of mobile homes in Gallatin County.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Affordable housing kicked out. See you later.
Yeah, the loss of mobile homes they know by tax records. Isn't that great?
That's right. Yeah. Well, they're property tax just like anything else, man.
Yeah.
So, West Yellowstone, they're going to be asked to approve a tax increase. They've stopped allowing new water and sewer hookups, stalling development, and limiting the town's ability to accommodate the thousands of visitors it welcomes each year to expand water and sewer capacity and to complete a backlog of other infrastructure projects. West Yellowstone will ask voters in November to approve a 1% increase in the town's local option sales tax. So the revenue from the 1% increase would pay for a wastewater treatment facility, water storage tanks, and water and sewer lines, and reconstruction of streets and sidewalks. That's a lot for 1% in that town that size. The proposed tax hikes would generate about $1.2 million annually and would be used to back a $28 million bond. Well, I guess they got a bond, so I guess they could pull that off. Tax would expire after the bond is repaid in 20 years. I love it.
And more tax story. You know, I mean, you got more tax stories every day than
we do.
I mean,
we do. I don't know,
incredible.
man. It's pretty scary. So I don't know. I might have to take a break and think about this. Think about how many taxes I'm going to have to pay.
Let it sink in, Tom.
Let it sink in. How many lattes? How many pizzas? I don't know. We'll be right back right after this. 20 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m. Welcome back to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. We got a caller patiently waiting on the line, so let's take a phone call. 406-522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you are on the air. What's up?
Well, there's all kinds of things that are up there, Thomas.
Oh, you're early this morning.
Yeah. Well, I'm always up early. I'm not, but I have to wait for my brain to get engaged.
Well, yeah. That happens to us about 9:05. I think.
All right, Pete. I being the conspiracy theorist that you are, I'm sure you're calling to talk about Epstein.
No.
Nah.
No. I'll let him work that out.
Okay.
No, I'm calling about the red flag laws.
Oh, yeah.
That we don't know what's in them yet, but we can go by some of the ones that are out there that are at the state level. But it never ceases to amaze me. These guys can stretch everything and violate the law. They don't care. And I guess I've been wondering.
Doesn't it violate the 4th and 5th and 2nd Amendment?
2nd, 4th, 5th, and 14th.
14th and probably the 10th too. I don't know.
Right. Well, in the 5th, of course, it says,
yeah.
Nor be, and they're talking about the people, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law.
Yeah.
And in the 14th, it says exactly the same thing. Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. And due process, when you get into that covers, you get into more amendments beyond the, the 2nd, the 5th, and the 14th. You get into the 7th and some of the others. And I guess my question is this: will all the Dems who have been calling for violence and stand there with a fake president's head and blood dripping out of it in your hand, and the people need to show up with pitchforks and torches? Are those people going to be the first ones to be checked out? Say, does Griffin? What's her name there? Kathy Lee?
Yeah,
Griffin?
Kathy Lee, yeah.
Does she own any guns? Because if she does, they need to be taken away.
I would think so.
Well, yeah, but
her pitchfork, too.
We talked about this on Friday night. I got to repeat this because I got to read the list because it's so important, all right? This is a mute argument. The National Instant Crime Background Check System that was set up under the Brady Handgun Violence Prevention Act of 1993 was launched by the FBI in 1998. Now, they've done 250 million background checks because of this law since then. Now, here's what you're right now under the law in your country. A prohibited person is one who has been convicted in court of a crime punishable by imprisonment or term exceeding 1 year. It is under indictment for a crime punished by imprisonment for a term exceeding 1 year, is a fugitive from justice, is an unlawful user or addicted to any controlled substance, has been educated as a medical defective or committed to a mental institution, is illegally or unlawfully in the United States, has been discharged from the armed forces under dishonorable conditions, having been a citizen of the United States, has renounced U.S. citizenship, is subject to a court order that restrains the person from harassing, stalking, or threatening an intimate partner or child in such intimate partner, has been convicted in any court of a misdemeanor crime or domestic violence. everything they've talked about for the last 2 weeks is already in the law and covered. I mean, this is just misdirection, typical of your politicians, because they don't want to get anything done.
Right. Well, it's all about control, Shane, and what you just said just points that out.
Yeah.
You know, it's about control, and the people that's going to be the most controlled, a group of people in this country, is the veterans.
Oh yeah.
And
PTSD and all of that stuff.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Well, you get a mental evaluation, Tom, when you come back from any war zone. That started with Iraq. Okay.
I never got one, and
no,
it was sorely needed too. But anyway.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it becomes a slippery slope because what are they going to do? Prevent white nationalists? Not TIVA can't have minorities. I mean, the list could go on and on and on, right? I mean, it's wrong.
The thing is, we didn't learn anything from the asset forfeiture laws. This is the same thing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
The same thing, and there's going to be problems. I'll tell you what, it's going to create more problems than it's going to solve. I'll tell you right now, plain and simple. And it's interesting to hear like Dan Crenshaw now. He's ex-military. Okay, he promised to obey his oath, and now he's out there telling us that, well, we don't know what's going on. You need to listen to these guys.
Well, right. The reason I read that list is because unintended consequences are the laws you have aren't enforced, and
exactly.
That's what's going on.
And another thing, Shane, is these guys have they got data coming out their ears, okay? And maybe that's one of the problems. Maybe some of these guys are slipping through the cracks because they got so much information they can't sort through it, or they don't sort through it, whether that would be on purpose or accidentally. Maybe they just can't handle the amount of information that they have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know, but I mean, you can't talk on the phone, you can't send an email, you can't post anything online. There is nothing that they can't get their hands on, unless it's Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
We have no camera footage. I knew you were going to say it. I knew it.
We have no camera footage. We have zero information, really, or no meaningful information. They got online. They got 2 pictures of him on the gurney, and you can tell that it's definitely not the same person.
Yeah.
Guys are coming out that they got some guy in the jail, or had a cousin in the jail or something. Said, "Nah, there was a white man came in, and some guy with military uniforms, and they wheeled him off and took him out of there." Next thing you know, he's dead.
Okay.
But
exactly. There you go.
Yeah. I don't know. What's the old thought? Dead men tell no tales.
That's what I've been told.
That's
Hey, Speech.
Yep, you bet.
All right, thanks, man. 522 Talk is the number. Call you on the soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's going on? Real quick.
Well, let me be the first to espouse a good conspiracy theory about Epstein.
All right.
Okay. He was extracted by the Mossad. He was running a Mossad blackmail operation with his underage sex, with cameras and video operation on his private island. He didn't die. He was extracted by Mossad.
All right.
All right. That's a good one.
Gotta go, man. Sorry.
Just like Meyer Kahana.
All right. Hey, thanks, man. All right, we got to go, and we'll be back after news at the bottom of the hour. Montana State News, Fox News, and all of that, so stay tuned. 23 minutes for the top of the hour, Monday, August 12th, 2019, 54 degrees outside, looking for high in the mid-70s today, nice and clear, and beautiful day outside. Shane Tom Eagleoff here. And let's go to our phone lines. 522 Talk is the number. Caller, you're on the air. What's up?
Well, this is Alfred E. Newman.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah, I was listening to a woman on radio. She said, I could be shot. I could be shot in the Walmart, the shopping center, on the beach, anywhere. So I say, what, me worry?
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. I grew up in the inner city, and it grew more and more Afro-American around me. It was 50% or more, and I had a period where I was visiting the African American storefront churches. Along the streets in the evenings, so I'd come home after dark walking because I didn't have a car at the time in order to keep my budget under control. And I was the only white guy in one choir, and I'm certified to preach in the pulpit of the Missionary Baptist Church. So I think people are psychologically just running scared. If you run around thinking that everybody's going to shoot you, you're just spooked to run from one side of the enclosure to the other. We're not real Americans if we're like a bunch of rabbits. And on top of that, big deal. So what if somebody shoots us dead? We're just going to transfer from one life to another life on the other side.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah. Daniel R. Peterson spoke for Alfred E. Newman.
All right. Thank you much. Well, discrimination or fear of another group is generally a lack of knowledge about that group.
Of course it is. It's just ignorance, right?
Yeah, yeah. You need to meet someone. If you fear a group of people, whatever they are, you meet them, and generally you'll find that there are wackos in that group. But most of the people in that group are just like you are. They want a job, they want a house, they want a good life, and all of that. They don't want violence. They don't want all the things. They want all the things the rest of us want. So
they want to survive.
Yeah, exactly right. Let's take another phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Calling on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hey, this is Aaron.
Hey, Aaron.
Good morning, Aaron.
So, good morning, Shane. So what was Daniel saying?
He was just saying that, you can be shot anywhere, and he was relating that the area he grew up in became more and more one group of folks, and a lot of people fear that group. So, but he says getting to know them is the way to, to live in harmony.
And overcome your own fears.
Yeah, and overcome your own fears.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Interesting.
Aaron, we needed the great Eagle Man to decipher that, okay? Just so you know. I agree with you. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, that's just whatever. I mean, criminals are criminals. The inner city, problem with the inner city is that most of the people who live there have nothing to lose. When you got nothing to lose, you end up willing to risk everything because it's nothing, right? You don't have anything to lose, so why not risk it?
Yeah.
The people who aren't criminal-minded move out of there.
Well, they certainly try to if they can. Some are trapped there because of economics, and they can't move. They've got no options to go somewhere else other than just to throw it all on their back and walk out.
Well, and I did that. I lived in Houston, Texas, and I threw everything on my back and I walked out, and I walked to Las Vegas, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So it's the possibilities are there, but I don't know, man. This whole gun control thing, it's really all about controlling people. The progressives have this desire for control, and it's not about the loss of life or the fact that people are being shot senselessly. Because if that was the case, they would be banning every automobile. All these, and we've went through this time and time again. that guns kill people less than all these other things, right?
Yeah.
So they don't lament any of that. They don't lament the fact that 1,000 babies are killed every day in this country through abortion. So this has nothing really to do with loss of life. It has to do with controlling people, and it's the hysteria that's brought about through these things. It's brought about by the media. The media is the one that's ginning up all this hysteria over guns.
I agree.
They didn't.
Yeah, the Democratic Party is the party of indentured servitude. So all the stuff they talk about giving away for free, that's not the purpose.
Yeah.
The purpose is to have everybody indentured to the federal government. So they have to depend on the federal government. Like, wow, that's very sad.
And that's the truth. Like I said earlier, if you look at the Democratic platform, it was exactly what the slaves had back in the day. They had free health care, free food, free housing, free clothing. Everything was free, and they had a guaranteed job. There was a lot of people in the United States.
And the inner cities of your country. It destroyed them.
Right. There was a lot of people in this country back during the slave period that didn't have work and starved to death.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't hear about slaves starving to death, and they always had work. And that's what the Democrats are trying for again. So, I don't know, man. The media is part of that, too. I'm about sick and tired of media, to be real honest with you. The news, Fox, all of them, they're all propagandists. And, it's pretty disgusting what's going on in this country right now. So, you guys take care. Have a good day.
All righty. Thanks for the call.
Thanks, Aaron.
All right. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. 13 minutes for the top of the hour, Monday, August 12th, 2019. 54 degrees outside, looking for high in the mid-70s. Shane Matavin on the line. Half man, half amazing. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor. Jeff Krause, the real mayor, ex-mayor, three-time mayor, will be in tomorrow. So we'll be chatting with Jeff tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So stay tuned for that. And we hope you'll join us for Jeff's thoughts. Well, in local news, Shane, the Hoot is a hit. The Hoot was a hit.
That's good.
The Hoot over in Livingston got 5,000 to 6,000 people. That's a more manageable group than the 12,000 they've had before. So they limited their advertising to just the local area here, I guess. So they got a very manageable 5,000 to 6,000. And the amazing thing about this, Shane, when you think about it, the Hoot is paired with the Park County Community Foundation to give the Give a Hoot Foundation, or Give a Hoot fundraising campaign, I guess, that benefits 52 local nonprofits. And 1,600 people gave $1 million.
That's terrific. How wonderful is that?
That's pretty amazing. 1,600 people. That's almost $100 each. A little over $100 each.
Right.
Oh, that's pretty big bucks.
Go Gallatin Valley.
Yeah.
Go. Giddy up, baby.
Yeah, so they got $1 million over there for the Give a Hoot Foundation, or the Give a Hoot fundraiser, I guess, for the Park County Community Foundation. So pretty good for those folks over there. So we're happy for them, certainly. In other news, over in the same area, I guess, a judge on Thursday ordered a publisher of a neo-Nazi website to pay a Jewish real estate agent $14 million for enacting his readers to harass her family with hundreds of threatening and anti-Semitic messages and calls. Now, we've talked about this before, this person that was the target of this Jewish person. And there was also a Muslim radio host, also Dean Obadiah, I guess, something like that. He got a $4.1 million settlement after he was falsely accused of terrorism. And but anyway, the guy who puts up this website doesn't live in the U.S., so we're not sure if there's any way that we can get some money from this dude or not. So,
not likely. No.
I don't think so. So I don't know. That's going to be a toughie. The other news over in Billings, a federal judge has rejected a family's request for a jury trial involving a lawsuit alleging racial bias in the FBI investigation into a relative shooting. Apparently, two guys got into it over the treatment of a horse, and one of them shot the other one. And but the U.S. District Judge Sam Hayden ruled that any trial in the case will be held in front of a court alone, and no criminal charges were filed in the 2005 death of 24-year-old Stephen Bear Crane, a tribal member who was shot on the Crow Reservation. The FBI concluded that Bobby Jean Holcomb, who is white, Bobby Jean Holcomb is white, hard to believe, but shot him in self-defense.
Did you say white or whitish?
Yeah, I guess it wasn't. I guess it wasn't Tyrone Mims or Ulysses Dokes, huh?
Exactly.
Right. All right, we got to take a quick break. Shane, I got a caller waiting on the line. If you could talk to them real quick, we'll be right back after Buffalo Restoration, Murdoch's, and American Bullion, and the government mint. We got gold going on today, Shane. So we'll be right back. 6 minutes for the top of the hour. We've Shane Matauban has been antagonizing a listener off the line, and apparently he or she has something worth listening to, or Shane would have kicked him to the curb by now, I would say. So let's go to the phones. 522 Talk is the number. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's going on?
Well, Tom, Shane's been very kind to me.
Well, good.
Our friend Jerry, come on.
well, I was just trying to make heads or tails of this, these conflicting news reports and about Epstein.
Yeah.
And I really feel bad for the victims because they're not going to have their day in court. Although a thing that you might ask the law babe is the state, will they be able to do some sort of civil action against him and his estate?
I would almost guarantee they will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And if Epstein was taken out by somebody at the behest of somebody because of what he might reveal or what any evidence might reveal,
mm-hmm.
Due to his activities and fomenting these women,
trade.
The young girls
Yeah.
and the people who are participating in that, if they don't want to be exposed, and they decided, well, we're going to have to do something because he may spill the beans or something. Whoever did this, if they did it, and that's pure speculation on my part.
Yeah.
Whoever did that, they're going to have a target on their back, and they better take the first flight to Jupiter because they're short for this world.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, the killer of the killer. That's
Well, if they perform an autopsy, who knows how long it may take, and if the investigation that they want to bring forth by the AG, the IG, the FBI, by the time they're finished, Cleveland could win the Super Bowl.
Could be years. Yeah, it could be years. Yeah.
And the way the criminal justice system and those kind of investigations, we know how long they take, and it may be a long time before they ever get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, this guy, apparently ran in some pretty high circles with people who have a lot of money and influence and whatever.
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't think, I wouldn't think it would be unusual for somebody to put out some feelers of, hey, is there any way to get to this guy?
I'm sure somebody. I agree wholeheartedly, Tom. The thing is, when you hear the news reports that he was going to be moved to another cell, and they didn't have enough people to keep that suicide watch on him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really convoluted, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, that's what happened when you raise that minimum wage. You can't, you got to automate all this stuff, so you can't keep these guys employed.
This reminds me. I was telling Shane. This reminds me of what happened to Herman Goering.
Yeah.
When he was in Spandau, somebody slipped him a Mickey, and he ended his life that way.
Yeah.
At the behest, somebody else helped him out, and who knows how this is going to come out, but it's very confusing if you ask me.
Well, it's certainly suspicious and stinks to high heaven. That this guy is gone. It just does.
Well, nobody took out Chapa, and he was in that same facility, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, obviously, if you're on a suicide watch, that means somebody's watching you commit suicide.
Well, I guess so. Yeah. That's probably it.
Well,
he's doing it.
Have a good day, gentlemen.
All right. Thanks, Jerry. All right. Let's see. He's doing it. Yep, he's doing it. He's done. It's over. I watched him do it. It's done. All right. We got about a minute left here, so we're gonna get out of here. But anyway, yeah, the Epstein thing is pretty. I don't know, Shane. It's really suspect, I think.
Well, of course it is. It's like I said to you at the beginning of the show. The minute you and I think anything else is not possible, something
here it comes. Here it comes along. Yeah,
exactly.
Well, I've never been a big conspiracy theorist, but that not to watch this guy, not to put him in with somebody else. I can see why they wouldn't put him in with somebody else.
Because he's a pedophile.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, you don't normally do that with most prisoners in prisons don't like pedophiles all that much.
Right.
So I don't know. But anyway, we're going to have a long investigation. It's another thing it's going to do, of course, is taking all the sucking all the oxygen out of the air from the candidates. Biden's gaffe is no longer a big deal. So, well, we'll talk more about these things as we come up on the next hour, because we got to unveil the 5 things you need to know. So, by all means, stay tuned for that. Also, don't forget about our KMMS app, AM 1450 KMMS app. Got the app chat on it right next to the listen button. You just hit that. You could get directly to us. And also, you get news. You get everything, weather, everything that's going on, all the local stories, everything you need to know about Bozeman, Livingston, and the surrounding area. We'll be right back. Thank you, Dan. Welcome back, everyone. It is 6 minutes after the hour. It's Monday, August 12th, 2019, 60 degrees outside. We're looking for a high in the mid-70s today. A little cool. We're supposed to be at 89 as our average for today, Shane. So
is it really?
Yeah, 89 is our average. So we're well below that. And I think we're going to have an early winter, Shane, because we've got some plants out in front of our house that they're green all winter, but when fall comes, they turn bright red. Yeah. And they've already started to turn red. We've got some,
there you go, buddy.
Got some bright red leaves on them, and I don't know, they're fire something, whatever they're called.
So what you're saying, the Gallatin Valley should expect 20 feet of snow this year.
At least 20 feet, at least 20 feet of snow, and all that and more. Let's take a look at our...
The kids will be sledding off the rooftops this year. Christmas.
Yeah, they will. That's for sure. At what age should a child have a cell phone? That's our poll question of the day. At what age should a child have a cell phone? Right now, 43% of you think between 15 and 18. 18% of you think 11 to 14. 12% think 7 to 10. And the some other answers we have. One is 26, which I didn't have as an answer. Another answer is when they can afford to pay for it. There you go. Yeah, get that paper out. Then you can have a phone.
Get a job, baby.
Yeah. By the age of 2, they should be able to show you how to use it. And 18 to 21 is the other one. So yesterday, or rather on Friday, we did the can any law be passed to stop mass shootings? Can any law be passed to stop mass shooting? 70% of you said no. No law will stop a committed person. 15% thought observant people, not laws, can stop mass shooters. 7% said yes, but Congress needs to rethink gun laws. And then there were some other answers. Just ban mass shootings. Start hanging mass shooters in the middle of the square. Stronger background checks. And I think mandatory gun safety classes in school and proper use of firearms would help. So those all may be things that we need to visit in the future, or Congress should, I guess. So, well, we've been talking about Jeffrey Epstein all morning long while in protective custody at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan. Financier and alleged sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein was supposed to be checked on by 2 guards every 30 minutes, but that protocol was not followed on Friday night. A law enforcement official said that Epstein, 66, was found dead in his cell at 6:30 a.m. Saturday morning. 3 weeks ago, Epstein was discovered inside his cell, semi-conscious, with bruises around his neck, and he was placed on suicide watch. 6 days later, it was determined Epstein was no longer a threat to himself, and he was removed from suicide watch. And then he was supposed to have a cellmate, 3 officials said, but that man was recently transferred, and Epstein was alone in violation of the jail's rules. The FBI and Department of Justice are launching investigations into his death. And I still wonder why you would have a sex trafficker with another prisoner. You know, I don't know. Maybe you put him in with another sex trafficker. I don't know. They compare notes. But
well, and another thing is, why wasn't there a camera? I mean,
yeah.
You know, if there were only one guard, you'd think he'd be watching the television screens wherever he's sitting.
Yeah.
But apparently they decided not to put a camera on this guy. Well, that's bizarre. How bizarre is that? That's really...
I don't know. It depends on the size of the facility, what they've got there. Suicide watch, I guess, was manual, two guards every 30 minutes to see what's going on, and they weren't able to do that or didn't do it, at least on that particular day. And being a weekend, they may have had a little too much Saturday night or Friday night or who knows what. But I don't want to accuse anybody of any wrongdoing here, but well, I guess I am. But anyway.
Well, let's put it this way. Somebody did something wrong.
Somebody did something, yeah.
Wrong.
Where have I heard that before? Some people did something.
That's right.
So there you go. What that means. But anyway, one of the callers was asking, would they bring a civil action against his estate? And I would almost surely bet they will. I think that's a no-brainer that these victims are going to want some kind of compensation, particularly if you're talking about a guy who's a billionaire. Yeah. You know, I mean, you'll liquidate, whatever. Now, depending on how he was set up, if he was set up as a corporation or a legal entity or whatever, there may be some restriction on what they can get from his estate or from him or from whatever companies he had. So, well,
the sick irony about this whole story is that, you know, he bought an island in the Virgin Islands, a territory of the United States, for underage children, and I mean the Virgin Islands and underage children. And that's just sick, right? Like,
oh, yeah. Well, it's pretty sick anyway, but, you know, he is 66, so.
It was.
It was, yeah. Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hey, good morning, Tom. Good morning, Shane. This is Steve-O.
Hey, Steve-O.
How you guys?
Good.
Good morning, Steve.
I want to talk a little botany this morning, Tom, from your description.
Yeah?
I'm pretty sure you got eastern burning bush.
That might be it. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
They also slang, it's called wahoo. It's Euonymus alatus.
Yeah.
And, I wanted to correct you, though, Tom. It's not going to turn color early. I mean, they'll do that sometimes when they're under duress.
Oh.
But, that's just another confirmation of climate change.
I'm sure that's it. I turn red when I'm under duress.
I'm surprised you missed that, Tom.
I know.
Because that was an open door to open that conversation.
Right.
Well, I've been watching Tom on Skype for years, and I've never seen him blush. I just want you to know that.
Remember, Bernie was. Well, that was my botany rant for this morning.
Well, all right.
Have a good day.
Well, hey, I feel better now knowing what that thing is. I know the wife knows what they are, but hey.
Yeah. And Tom, they're non-native, too. But they're very popular because, they turn that bright red in the fall.
Yeah.
They're an attractive plant, and they've got a dwarf variety as well. So.
Yeah. I think that's what we've got there. They're not very tall, but they spread a lot. But anyway, so hey, thanks, Steve.
Yeah, they got a variety, Nana, which is like a miniature.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough on botany.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Buddy.
All right, good. Yeah. Hey, as long as they don't take over the house, I don't care.
That's right. Yeah. Don't let it get inside.
Yeah, I better go over there and water in that area. Maybe they are under duress. I don't know. I'll have to find that out.
I can't believe you stress a plant. How could you possibly stress a plant?
I know, yeah. I talk to them every time I get out of the car. I say, "Hey, plants, how you doing?"
That's right.
and he's got water.
Yeah, and the Eagle Man has an outdoor speaker, so they can listen to music.
That's right. Yeah.
He does take care of his plants.
I do take care of the plants. Yeah, we got to do that. So, oh my gosh. Well, yeah, the Epstein thing. We're going to hear more about that, I'm sure, as time goes on. So, there's just no question that. And as the caller alluded to, this estate deal could take years.
Well, and it should create a national discussion about the sex trade and the slavery involved, particularly for young women and boys. I mean, because it's a real it's a bad problem in your country. It is.
Well, are you going to treat this like gun control? What, are you going to have background checks on kids now, and
oh man,
who are most likely to be accosted or taken or whatever, or kidnapped or enticed to go along with somebody for whatever reason? So, yeah, I don't know what you can do about sex trafficking. As long as there's a demand for it, and unfortunately in our society with pornography and everything else that's going on, there is a market for young kids, and
the moral issues you're dealing with, like about the devaluation of life and birth control and everything.
Well, that's the whole thing. Yeah, we don't value life anymore. We don't think about that being someone's daughter or someone's son or whatever. It's not restricted just to females. Young boys are kidnapped too all the time. And Mother Teresa said, if a society doesn't protect its children, it no longer becomes a marginal. It becomes a marginal society. So, and I'd agree with that. When we were kids,
gotta protect the children.
Yeah, I think most people listening to us are older, as we are. Our parents never thought anything about us taking a bike uptown, or going to a movie and walking home from school. Or never in their mind that anybody would grab us or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And that's just a sad we lost the innocence of our country many years ago, I think, when with the advent of the internet and some other communication, to where pedophiles now have more than enough sites they can go to where folks are just more than happy to embolden them and say you're on the right track, you're doing the right thing, we support you, and you, rather than having a bunch of magazines or pictures under your bed, you got a kid locked in the basement. Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Call you on the air. What's up?
That's Clint. I was just wondering if you guys was talking about Rome.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Huh?
Bread and circuses.
Well, it sounds to me like it, don't it?
Well, they were kind of a permissive society, as I recall, too.
To the bitter end.
Yeah.
Well, they were loving the boys, and they were loving the girls, and they were loving everybody, and they kept passing more rules and regulations and laws, and pretty soon, guess what happened? She fell.
They fell.
So, does history repeat itself?
Of course it does.
Do you think we're on that path, Clint?
Well, when I see what the Democratic candidates are doing, I see what the people are talking about. So what it is, the way I look at it, it's about sex and violence. And when the Democratic candidates talk about it and the gun control, and like Pete said, they're violating many of the amendments of the Constitution. They're also violating the Declaration of Independence. It says in there that you must change your government if it becomes unruly, and that's what the gun was for, was so you could do that, where other nations didn't have them.
Yeah.
And you couldn't do it. But that's why America's armed. That's why the Second Amendment's there. But the thing that's bothering me on the news clips, they showed about 3 different high-powered people that were supposedly having sex with these young girls, promoted by the guy that's dead. I'm not even going to mention his name. It's not worth mentioning. But anyway, we're going just like the Roman Empire did.
Well, I'll tell you the problem that I have as a historian. The Democratic Party is the party of civil war in your country, okay?
It sure as hell is.
All right. So what I see, and I maybe shouldn't say this, but maybe we should talk about it. I just see the media and the Democratic Party in your country angling for another civil war. I do.
Shane, that is why I said a long time ago, and I think you guys will both agree with me, I called it a political civil war right now.
Exactly.
And I said it would eventually wind up to something bad, and I didn't name a civil war, but it's going to happen if people don't change their ways.
Well, and what scares me, Clint, when I say that is, and I'll just throw this at it as a part of the discussion, I think they're angling for a civil war between African Americans and Mexican Americans. That's what I see. When you watch some of the, especially after this weekend with this Epstein thing, like Tom and I said again, I'm repeating myself at the beginning of the program. Tom and I go, well, what are we going to talk about today? Well, you can't think of this stuff would happen, right?
Yeah. Well, what bothers me is this Democratic parties and some of the Republican parties too, some of the people in it, they're not thinking about America and the people. They think more about their parties. But I think the Democrats are destroying their own party. That's my personal opinion. Because I think anybody with any common sense that takes a look at these Democratic candidates, I think that most of them's going to shake their head.
Well, they're not the party of Kennedy or Herbert Humphrey or Scoop Jackson or any of the old-timers that were reasonable and would sit down and compromise.
That's right. Well, we're supposed to be people of visionary things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're supposed to be able to visualize. We're going to go to the Mars, let's say. Like Kennedy said, we're going to go to the moon, and we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be decent human beings. We're supposed to treat one another with respect and dignity. And we're not doing that. And Shane, what you said about leading a civil war, whether it be the blacks against the Mexicans or whatever, or within amongst the people, the Democratic Party is doing the best they possibly can to make that come true, in my opinion.
All right, man.
Well, your founding fathers were brilliant about the concept of compromise, and that's why they created the government you have, right?
That's right. Well, it's a Republican form of government and a Democratic rule, which is so you and I and everybody else gets a chance to voice an opinion about our government and vote.
Yep, that's it.
So that's about it. And I can't think of anybody that had the wealth of this man that would want to take and use little girls, whether they be 15 or 16. Of course, people married girls at 13 and 14 in the early days, but but what they're doing, it's beyond explanation.
It is.
It is, really is. And we won't know the truth about all of this, and I'll bet you for another 20, 30 years or maybe longer.
Good, babe. Got to go.
Okay, thanks, man.
Thanks, man. All right.
Thanks, buddy.
We got to go. We'll be right back. 25 minutes after the hour. It's a Monday, August 12th, 2019, 60 degrees outside. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Shane Matavin with me in Vancouver, British Columbia, and Jeff Krause will join us tomorrow at 8 o'clock, so stay tuned for that. We'll find out. The city's going to talk about selling bonds for the safety building, Shane, so we'll have to see how that... if they voted, I'm sure they'll vote for it. Why not? So I don't know.
I wonder if they've determined the interest rate on it yet. We'll have to ask.
Yeah, we'll have to find out what that is. So we'll see. Maybe if anyone knows. So I don't know, with the bond market at less than $2 or 2% rather. I don't know what they're going to get with these bonds, but I don't know. 20 years, probably a 30-year bond, I guess. Probably.
I would think so.
I would think
that's
at
what
least
that's what municipal bonds usually are. Right?
Yeah, they are. They're 30 years probably.
30
so
bonds.
at least 20 or 30. So anyway. Well, stuff's still going on over in Hong Kong, too. The 5 things you need to know. If you didn't realize it before, Hong Kong has been demonstrating that China wanted to take prisoners back to China from Hong Kong.
That's right.
and they said, no, we'll keep them here. Thank you very much. Because your prisons are a little suspect as to quality of conditions. Right. So, yeah. So now Hong Kong International Airport, one of the world's busiest, announced Monday that it's canceling all flights that have not checked in, blaming anti-government protesters who flooded the airport and seriously disrupted the air travel. All arriving flights will be allowed to land, but thousands of protesters crowded the airport main terminal after police were filmed violently cracking down on protesters Sunday night, rallying around a woman caught bleeding from her eyes, apparently after being shot with a beanbag round at close range. After weeks of protests, the police are becoming more aggressive, including dressing up as protesters to arrest suspects and sow discord among the demonstrators. So that's the way you do it. You just infiltrate the crowd.
Yep, and this all started with the transfer of sovereignty from the United Kingdom on the 1st of July, 1997.
Mm-hmm.
428 square miles with a population of 7.5 million.
I know. Yeah.
This is a big number. The per capita per person, $66,000. That's a lot for China.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I was going to say, China's looking down there saying, what are these people doing? They're not sitting in huts whittling spatulas out of wood. For the U.S., what are they doing?
And a $502 billion GDP just for that. I mean, that's 44th in the world. This is a real rocking place, Hong Kong. Got to leave it alone, baby. Got to leave it alone.
It is a mover and a shaker, that's for sure. They're in Singapore, the two bright stars in the Asian community, I guess. So.
Well, it's just one of these issues that the mainland China is having an issue. And as we said, right now they've got serious problems because the military runs the place and their economy is shaky, baby. It's very, very shaky.
Yes, it is. All right, we've got to take a break here at the bottom of the hour. We've got Fox News coming up. We got Montana State News. We got Brooke Foster weather. We've got everything you'd ever want to hear about. Bozeman Dental Associates. We got Zip Recruiter. We got Park Electric. We got Rachel Limbaugh. All ahead. Man, this show has everything. No wonder 1,300 people download it.
Of course.
All right. We're excited. All right. Hey, don't forget to vote in our poll question today. How old should a child be to have a cell phone? How old should a child be to have a cell phone? Go to KMMSAM.com and vote, or go over to AM 1450 KMMS on your smartphone and vote. We'll be right back. 23 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Monday, August 12th, 2019, 59 degrees outside. Looking for a high in the 70s today. And let's see from our text line, get caught up here a little bit. Can Alicia file a civil suit against the estate of Muhammad? No one knows what the hell that is.
Exactly.
Maybe you. We are degenerating into an antediluvian society where babies are sacrificed to Bullock. So I have no idea what that means. No. And let's see, Chinese prisoners are organ donors. Okay, thank you. I guess that's probably right. Let's see. When are we gonna stop referring to the left as progressives? Their policies to attempt to control the masses go down by the Byzantine era and our Genghis Khan-like. Byzantine. Okay, thank you. Do Democrats ever do anything that doesn't trample, degenerate, alter, or abolish our Constitution? We're on the right. Would be best served calling them what they are, the Communist Regressive Party. Tom, what do you and Shane think? Isn't the progressive a misnomer in every way? Wouldn't the Democrats most accurately be described as communist regressive party, right? What would you say? Well, they certainly, I agree with Shane, and I think anybody who studies politics at all knows that the idea of the Democratic Party is they're enablers. They want everybody to be dependent on government. The government is going to be, and that's how you control people. If people want to talk about control, they want to control you on food stamps. You can get on welfare. It's almost impossible to get off unless you really have the initiative to do it. They make it much easier for you to stay on than for you to get off. And
that's right. And that's why they're the demolition party, because all these debates have shown that they want to demolish everything. They want to demolish the oil industry, the building industry. I mean, everything. Like the food industry. Can you imagine demolishing the food industry and getting rid of cows? I mean, seriously, think of the people employed, and oh my God, all of it. It's a scary thought.
Yeah. From our text file, our text line rather. Words matter. It is the Democrat Party, not the Democratic Party. There's nothing democratic about them. We are a republic, not a democracy. So, Democrats are not called Democrats. Republicans are called Republicans. Democrats are called Democrats. They're not called Democrats. So let's stop referring it to the Democratic Party as though it were some kind of democracy. Because as we've seen recently with AOC and her crowd, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, there's not a lot of democracy in there, or democraticness in there, I should say. So, all right, let's see. With Epstein gone, Trump is sleeping so much better. Phew, 4 more years. Well, let's hope so.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I would think Clinton is the one that's sleeping better.
Yeah, thank you for throwing that in, Eagleman.
Oh, let's see. We're talking about MSU actually putting animals in their parking. Not real animals, but animal signs, so you can tell you're parking in the moose or the bear or the wherever. Bobcat lot or whatever. Actually, MSU stole the animal picture parking thing from the hospital. That's from Bob. And another FOB, friend of Bill, bites the dust.
That's good. I like that one.
Yeah, that gets it pretty clearly squared up. So that'll bring us up to speed on our text line. And don't forget, you can also get in touch with us on the app chat. That's at AM 1450 KMMS on your smartphone. App chat's right next to the listen button. Just hit that, and you don't have to go over to the text line or speed dial or anything else to get it to us. So you just tap it in right there. You don't miss the show, and it's a great way to connect with us. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more right after this. 15 minutes for the top of the hour. It is Monday, August 12th, 2019. 60 degrees outside, looking for a high of 75 degrees. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And Shane and Tom, half man, half amazing. And Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor in the house. And let's see, from our app chat line, we have laws against mass shootings. Assault and murder laws ban mass shootings. If they break the law now, they will break any future laws. And I would agree with that. I don't think there's a law you can pass that's going to stop a motivated person from harming others if they are so motivated to do it.
That's correct. Yeah, it just exists. It's human nature, baby.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a sad commentary on our society, but as I say, the folks that think this way have plenty of support groups out there to egg them on.
Well, that's
the problem,
and a lot of support groups out there to help them to deal with it.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah. You know, you can certainly go online to these various groups and say, hey, where can I find a assault rifle? Where can I find a grenade or whatever it is you want? Somebody will be happy to either sell it to you themselves or let you know how to get it or where to get it or whatever. And I think if you're going to crack down on anything, we should crack down on social media where this flourishes, and on the dark web as well. I mean, we got
exasperates it. Yeah. It does. The whole thing does.
Yeah. Let's take some phone calls. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hey, good morning, guys. It's Kevin.
Kevin.
Hey,
good morning, Kevin.
Good morning. I got to get in on this Epstein thing. So one of two things. They sent someone in to kill him, because they knew that if he would squeal like a pig and rat everybody out, I mean, that's definitely a possibility, don't you think? I mean, you've got princes and ex-presidents and other billionaires who are going to be tied into all this, who have been, messing around with his girls for the last 20 years. Mm-hmm. And you think they're going to let him just go plea out a deal with the prosecution to rat everybody out so he gets out of jail? No way. They send somebody in, or they kill him. Or I liked Vinny's idea. I heard a little bit earlier on when he called it and said that they extracted him, and he's probably going to be living in Montana in the witness protection plan.
Yeah,
you'll see him downtown Livingston with like sunglasses on and a big hat.
No, he'll be over in Checkerboard.
So, I mean, one of those two things happened. He did not hang himself. I mean, that's just absolutely absurd. If you think he hung himself, I got a bridge to sell you.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. He doesn't have a little black book. He's got a big black book.
No, I know. I mean, think about it. I mean, he's got Prince Andrew and Clinton. I mean, these are just a few of the names we know. I was
going to say, the Hollywood group will be in there, every governors, senators, everybody's got a couple bucks two nickels to rub together. We'll probably have talked to him. So
yeah, I mean, this thing is so beyond him just killing himself because he was down and depressed. I mean, that's outrageous. All right, well, it's always interesting.
All right, man. Thanks for the call.
Hey, see you guys.
All right, appreciate it. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you on the air. What's going on?
Good morning, guys. Yeah, it's kind of funny how anyone with nefarious connections to the Clintons always end up committing suicide, a la Vince Foster. But I digress. Anyways, too, the gun thing, I guess it's a tragedy, there's no doubt, when some sick son of a gun goes out there and kills 20 people. But still, we lose 20, 30, 40, whatever it is, every weekend in Chicago, and a quarter of that during the week. And, we have stabbings now where guys are killing. I guess we got outlaw knives. And we just lost 5 kids at a daycare center to a tragic fire. So it's still all about guns for the Democrats. We know that. It's all about getting rid of the guns because they don't give a damn about traffic deaths. They don't give a darn about the opioid crisis, which is killing thousands of people. They don't care about that. I mean, so they're so transparent. It's really.
Well, those things don't get any votes. We don't have any headlines about the opioid thing or, any of the other things you mentioned. We only have mass shooting makes the front page and top of the fold. So
sure, exactly.
That's where the votes are.
40,000 people a year in drunk driving deaths and all these things. Exactly. I mean, and I just hope people keep that just keep it in the forefront. Just be aware. Be aware and look what's going on. The knee-jerk reaction is always got some kind of a ulterior motive,
Yep.
So, anyway.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. All right, we got to take another quick break. We got the Rush update, and what else we got here? Well, of course, we got Babel and ZipRecruiter. Why not? And gold. At least we don't have Noxatril and some kind of hernia mesh to talk to you about. So
hernia mesh.
It's been a pretty much a pharmaceutical-free morning.
And gold's over $1,500 today.
That's good. So go out and buy some. Here's a Rush. 3 minutes for the top of the hour. We've got a caller waiting on the line, Shane, so let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's going on?
Hey, Tom and Shane. This is Tony in Livingston.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm going to make a day trip to Hebgen Lake on Saturday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I lived here in Montana for 30 years, and I've been about 7 years here. in Livingston, and I talked to some old guys that were here when that earthquake hit,
Mm-hmm.
and they said it was something else.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to a guy that was up in Wilsaw in a bunkhouse, and he said everything just started shaking, and it was the loudest sound he ever heard. And it'd be great if the people that were here could call in, and because with all the craziness in the world, let's talk about Montana.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like it. Well, it's good. The anniversary, the 60th anniversary, I guess, is on the 17th.
Yeah,
so,
I'm gonna head over there.
So is that Friday? Is Friday the 17th?
No, it's on Saturday.
Saturday. Well, maybe we could devote a day to that Friday and have people call in on Friday and then head up there for the weekend. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great. Because I know there's a lot of stories out there.
Oh, I'm sure.
Guess,
I'm sure there are. Yeah.
My friend Mike said it was the loudest sound he ever heard, and everything in the bunkhouse was just bouncing around.
I bet.
And Wilsaw is probably 120, 130 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
And it must have been a heck of a night in 1959.
Well, why do these things always happen at night? It seems like in the middle of the night you're sitting there and it bounces you out of bed. What's the deal?
Exactly. Yeah. Makes you wonder. Hello, Shane.
Hello, Guy. Good call. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, guys. I always listen to you.
All right, great. I appreciate it. Thanks for doing that. All right, Shane, that wraps it up for us. Tell everybody goodbye.
Goodbye, Mayor. Look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Everybody be happy, be safe.
Amen to that. Thanks, Shane. All right, that wraps it up for us. Hey, don't forget the Manhattan Potato Festival starts this weekend, and the Fireman's Breakfast is there Saturday, August 17th, 2019, 6 a.m. to 10:30. They're going to have pancakes, scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, hash browns, coffee, milk, and orange juice, and they'll all be prepared and served by the members and families of the Manhattan Volunteer Fire Department. So, by all means, get over there and celebrate the Manhattan Potato Fest and get yourself a nice breakfast, too. That wraps it up for me, and thank you, Shane, and we'll see everybody bright and early tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.